Hello, and welcome to my first battle report with the rulebook and all the shiny minis. This report was made at the hobby weekend of the company Verlag Martin Ellmeyer, which is supporting Hog War Games and Dropfleet in Germany. So I could join this hobby weekend and I managed to do a 1500 points game. I am playing PHR and I converted my models so they're not built like the guidelines of Hog War Games. I will come to this later again. For now, I wanted to tell you some mistakes we made in this game before the game starts. I, as PHR player, went in the first round max trust with my Dynamite dropship. And wanted to deploy ground tokens already in turn 1. But you cannot deploy ground tokens when you use max trust, because you cannot shoot weapons, and if you cannot shoot weapons, you cannot launch anything. So that was a mistake, but we have been aware of this and corrected it before turn 2 started. Sadly, we could not finish this game. We managed it to get in turn 4, in the middle of turn 4, and normally you start counting scoring points at the end of turn 4. But that's the second mistake. We did the scoring wrong, and we did it too early because we need to end our game. But I will come to this after the video report again, and then I will reveal the correct counting of the victory points till the mid of turn 4. Here you see another variant of my PHR. Then they're another time highly converted. I'm not sure if I'll keep them, but that's a variant I'm very happy with. So we'll see if I'm going to keep this one. So now let's go on and you can see my first video report. Have fun! So welcome to my first battle report with the actual rulebook. It's 1500 points. PHR files UCM. Well, the points are really equal, and both of us have a Admiral level 2. So we will going to let the disc decide if the strategy rating is the same. PHR has 2 5er strategy ratings, 2 20er, and UCM has 1 5er rating, then 10 and 11 and 12. So it's almost equal. PHR has at least 2 very heavy strategy ratings and compared to very light. The scenario we're going after is scenario 1 of the rulebook. So there are 5 clusters on the table and 4 normal debris fields and 2 fine debris fields. The clusters in the corners are double victory points worth. So they're really point intensive. The debris fields are placed at the middle of the border, and the ships will come in columns. So in the first round there are only 2 battle groups, in the second round then there are 4 battle groups, and in the third round there will be all battle groups on the board. So now let's continue to turn 1. So UCM brings a 11 and PHR brings a 7. PHR comes with a Dynamite troopship and 2 Calypso frigates, and UCM comes with 2 troopships and a Jakarta frigate. PHR decides that UCM needs to go first. Both players used the silent running rule and deployed their troopships at the back of the board with silent running. That's all that happened with the first battle group. PHR again came with a Dynamite troopship and 2 Calypso frigates. This time they need to go first and used max trust. Because I thought I can already deploy troops when I use max trust, but that was the error as already mentioned. UCM came with a 5er group 2 strike carriers and 3 Type frigates. The Type used silent running orders, and the strike carriers came with standard orders into this round. Yeah, I was too fast talking. Now we are already going into the roundup of the first round. Yeah, and here you see my wrong deployed ground tokens. I will remove them shortly. And then we are coming to turn 2, where the 2 battle groups we already activated are going to come again, and 2 new battle groups. That's special. Okay, already battle damage done in turn 2. PHR player used again his Skynamid and 2 Calypsos. The UCM player brought up 2 Berlins and 2 Limas, so strategy rating 12. He used standard orders to come in. I used silent running. The Calypsos went silent running. The Skynamid went standard orders and had no spike on it. After this, the UCM player was on its turn, and he put a Major spike with his Limas on my Skynamid transport. So maybe it would be better if he went first, but yeah. And his balance shot at it both. The Calypsos could make their shooting log value higher, so they just made 3 crits and 4 hits, and from the 4 hits I could save 2. So from 13 HP he took 5 HP. No crippling yet, but it hurted already very much. Okay, this time PHR brought in strategy rating 5 and UCM brought in strategy rating 10. UCM needed to go first. UCM used max trust, and 2 strike carriers went in max trust. I don't really know why, but yeah, they were on low orbit and max trust. Then another 3 Types went in here with standard orders. Behind them there was a Rio, and the Rio wanted to shoot at my Skynamid, but the fine debris field didn't allow this shot because, yeah, it's minus 12 scan range. My Andromedas came in 2 groups, 2 and 3, and the back group at the end of the border did an active scan. One of these ships did an active scan at the strike carrier. Yeah, that's it. Okay, this time PHR has a 7 again, the back transport troop ship, and UCM had a 5, the 3 Types and the 2 strike carrier from the back. The strike carrier went, first the PHR went silent running, and that's it. And the UCM player went, I think normal, just normal command. The strikers went atmosphere but could not deploy, and the Types were out of close action range. They just used their minor mass drives and did 1 damage, at least. Yeah. Now I know why he used the max thrust on the striker, because they are out of deploying range. Because of the debris field, the striker were not near enough to the center cluster. Now, PHR brought his SR-20 2 Scipio battle cruisers, and the UCM bought their troop ships San Francisco and Jakarta. The Scipio could make a course change and use their broadsides 24 dis to shoot out the 1 strike carrier that was pinged by the Andromeda and had a Major spike. The San Franciscos went in silent running, standard orders, and just moved forward to the clusters. Now we are in roundup turn 2. This time bombers were deployed. 2 bombers at the San Francisco in the back, 3 bombers at the other San Francisco, and 1 bomber each on the Type. Here you got the escort of 6 fighters against possible close action attacks later next turn. Yeah, that's it. Then the Skynamid redeployed because the first deploy was illegal. 3 infantry tokens to each cluster, and here 1 strike carrier could deploy an infantry token. This San Francisco deployed 3 infantries and 1 defense battery. So now let's go to turn 3, where all 6 battle groups are in game. PHR activated his troop ship, the Dynamite, and UCM activated their Berlins and Limas. The PHR could go first and use the order course change, did a 90-degree with the Dynamite and drove forward. One Calypso was still in range to cover it later on, and the Dynamite could shoot out the other strike carrier with its medium broadside. So the strike carrier died. After this, the Berlin shot at the Dynamite. The other Berlin could not shoot because of the debris field. It was blocked. So one Berlin shot the Dynamite down to 3 HP and put fire on it. The Limas did not active scan anything. I don't know why, but yeah, my enemy player didn't active scan anything. PHR activated the Scipio battle group, and UCM activated the Rio, Taipei, and Strike Carrier group. So PHR was forced to start, did a standard order, went to the middle of the board, and shot at one of the Berlins, did 2 or 3 damage, I think 3 damage. After this, the Rio and the Taipei frigates shot their mass drivers into the Taipei shot into the Calypso, did 2 damage, and the Rio shot into the Dynamite and did 1 damage. So now let's go to the next group. Now there entered some new groups. PHR brought in 2 heavy Achilles cruiser and UCM 2 Seattle carrier. PHR needed to start and went max thrust orders. That's the first Achilles with the blue stand, and back there the second Achilles with the blue stand went in max thrust. The Seattle came in with standard orders and back at the troop ships of UCM. This time PHR brought in a new group. It's 1 Theseus SR5, and UCM used their 2 strikers and 3 Taipei frigates. The Taipei frigates went first and did a course change maneuver. Then they set at my 2 Calypsos. The Taipei killed the one Calypso with their close action weapon, and the chain explosion killed the second Calypso and 2 Taipei frigates. Sadly. After this, the strike carrier were already finished because they're not in game anymore. The Theseus just made a max thrust in the middle of the field. This time PHR again used the other troop group with the 2 Calypsos, and UCM brought a new group, Moscow and 2 Jakarta frigates. UCM started with max thrust. The Moscow went in with max thrust, and the 2 Jakarta frigates went in the back there to cover the San Francisco. The PHR just did silent running and moved forward. PHR again brings the Andromeda battle group, and UCM brings the 1 San Francisco battle group. The UCM player used weapons free, and I think he did an error because he used a turning, but San Francisco went forward and shot with weapons free all into the Scipio and did 1 or 2 damage. And after this, the 3 PHR bomber did 1 damage because of the Jakarta escort frigate. I think the UCM player was very scared off by the PHR bomber. Back there, the 2 PHR bomber did 3 damage. But as well, there were 2 Jakarta to save it, but it didn't help anyway. The Andromedas just made a standard order and used closed action at the San Francisco, but it didn't help. Roundup after turn 3. Now first the ground is at redeploy. They all can move now in the cluster to another sector. They did here. They removed to all sectors and spread up. After this, some more deployment was done. Back there, both troop ships of PHR and UCM deployed. UCM deployed first, but the defense battery could not shoot down any bulk lander of PHR. Here, UCM deployed another defense battery, and infantry, the Gunnermate deployed 2 defense batteries. And yeah, that's it. I think another armor token from the New Orleans. And after this, the bomber fighters. Most of the bombers, there were 4 bombers at the San Francisco, 2 defending fighters of the UCM, and 2 fighters of PHR to negate the fighters of the UCM. In the end, the bomber could do 1 damage, and back there were some more bombers. They did no damage, but there's a torpedo as well. 1 Achilles shot a torpedo at the San Francisco. There were 2 bombers at the Taipei, 3 fighters at the Gunnermate, 2 bombers at this Andromeda, but they will be resolved in the next turn. Now, turn 4 is the first turn where you count victory points. To remind you, this and this cluster are double points, critical locations and ground domination. Let's continue. So, turn 4. PHR brings in the TSOS battle group, and UCM brings in the Moscow and the Jakarta. PHR wanted to start itself, used weapons free, drove in here and shot 10 dice at this New Orleans, but could not do any damage. And then it shot another 4 and 6 dice each to the Jakarta, and did 1 damage to Jakarta. I forgot to use my close action. Yeah. The Moscow went weapons free, and the Gunnermate made all saves. There were no crits, and the Gunnermate made all saves. Yeah. The second heavy mass drive of the Moscow shot at the Achilles and could do 1 damage. That's it. Weapons free for the Moscow. Yeah. So, my hero Gunnermate is still alive. Yeah. PHR activated the Gunnermate battle group, and UCM activated the Berlin-Lima battle group. The Gunnermate drove into the middle, and then after this, 1 Berlin shot the Gunnermate, and I think the Limas shot as well on the Gunnermate. And the other Berlin shot at the Achilles and did 1 damage to the Achilles, yeah. And the Gunnermate had just 1 or 2 HP left, So the third battle group in the 4th turn, PHR activates the Scipios and UCM activates the Rios with the Taipei combi. Rio and Taipei went first, drove into the middle and shot at 1 of the Scipios. The Taipeis could manage to deal 2 damage, and the Rio managed to deal 1 damage. Wow. After this, the Scipios shot back with their broadsides at the Rio and could do 3 damage. That's it. So, next battle group. Now at this point, we needed to end our game because, the location where we were playing needed to close. Now, because this video was recorded in German, I can tell you already the correct calculation of the victory points, because in the original video we did it wrong. So, because the clusters at the border of the map are double victory points, that's important, because if these clusters are just contested, you get 2 points for it. If you hold it, you get 4 points. And at the other end, UCM and we both contested. So both of us got 4 points, doubled. Both of us got 2 points because it's doubled. Both of us got 4 points. The other cluster at the other board was just holded by my Gunnermate. So I got 4 points, doubled 8 points. Because of this, after you count all critical locations and all other clusters, it was 18 points to 16 points for PHR. There were some groups left that did not activate in turn 4. So I'm sad that I could not see how well my torpedoes performed. But in turn 4, I didn't activate yet my Achilles, so that would be my next. I had activated my Achilles to move at one of the clusters where the Moscow was placed to contest the critical location there. If the bombers of PHR would kill the Taipei it was 2 bombers, and Taipei had only 3 HP left. Then, the critical location was really contested by tonnage. In this case, UCM had lost 4 victory points, and then it would be 18-12. But yeah, you never know how war can turn later on. My troop ships, the Gunamines with Calypso escorts, did perform very well. My UCM enemy just took very much effort into killing one of my Gunamid. And if you use strike carrier, it's really a matter of how you place them, because if there are some debris fields, you don't want to move through debris fields, so you cannot start directly at clusters, and then the strike carrier need a longer distance, a longer move to get to the cluster. So I think that was the problem for my UCM player. Because of this, he used max trust in the turn 1, and then I could easily spike up his strike carriers with the Andromeda. I think the Andromeda is a really good frigate for using active scan from PHR, because the Andromeda frigate, it has launch 1, but that's not really much. Andromeda frigate is not really much point, so nobody's going to kill them or go after them, because it's not really a Maya target. I'm thinking of maybe taking 3 troop ships with PHR, because they're really healthy and high armor, and it's a good way for me, at least. The UCM player had as well some bad turns because of the debris field again. His Berlin cruisers could not really target my Gunamid very often. I could hide more behind this, but I didn't see any tactically advantage in hiding behind the debris field, because I wanted to maybe rush to the middle cluster and deploy some more tokens there. But I didn't make it. In the end, it was like, maybe it would be game turning if the UCM player played his strikers a bit, with more aware of the point system, and put some strike carriers at the other cluster that's double points worth. That could be a game changing. So I think strike carriers are needed for UCM. UCM needs both, because their troop ships are not that healthy. But in the end, I did not go after their troop ships in the first place. I tried to put out the strike carriers anyway. I had a very slow force and not really much direct gunfire, more launcher sets. I was launcher set heavy, and my UCM enemy was, it has quite a lot gunfire, but I didn't really feel it, because there were not much casualties. Normally you always hear of everything is dying on the battlefield. In this game, it didn't. We had one chain reaction with the Taipei in close action, and that's it. We really had not much losses till turn 4. Maybe it would be other, some more losses afterwards, but sadly we could not finish this game. I hope you had fun, and I hope my English overlay is well placed. See you.